Now at 6 o'clock, alleged sexual abuse at a youth correctional facility in Woodburn.
You don't get a horrific nickname like Dr. Coldfingers unless it's pretty pervasive in terms of everyone knowing about it.
The victims in this case are now seeking millions of dollars in a new lawsuit.
And the man who set fire to the May apartments in Southwest Portland 2 years ago will be sentenced today. Our Thomas Schultz has a preview.
And it's the unofficial start of the road racing season in Portland. The Shamrock Run is this Sunday. What you need to know in terms of race times and traffic impacts if you want to stay away from the party in downtown.
Chris, as you know, it's also a weather impact alert day here at KGW. We're talking about lots of snow up in the mountain. Timberline Lodge Skycam shows snow that's already fallen this week. We could have another 2 feet there by the end of Sunday. Rod's full forecast coming up as we kick off the 6 o'clock hour of sunrise.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Friday. I'm China Green.
Yes, a good Friday morning it is. I'm Drew Carney, Rod Hill, Chris McGinnis standing by as well. So, Rod, let's talk about this weather impact alert and all that snow up on the mountain.
Yeah, and we'll get into that coming up a little bit later in the show. But I will tell you, if you're going to be traveling up over the Cascades, Mount Hood specifically, it's mainly dry up there until about noon today. So morning travel should be pretty easy. There's snow on the passes, but well plowed. It's again later today that snow really starts to pick up. All right, here we have light snow being picked up by radar over the Coast Range. And we've been looking for some flurry reports in Salem and McMinnville. So far, I haven't found any, but clearly you folks could see some flurries in the air. Temperatures outside of the Coast Range are above freezing. In fact, here's our live look at a dry state capital, cloudy skies and 37 degrees. Not expecting any impact from any flurries that you may or may not see. And this will basically turn into a day that sees increasing rain a little bit later this morning. For Portland, pretty quiet through 9 a.m. and then at noon, 46 degrees. Showers starting to pick up, and then it will be rainy areas going into your Friday evening, 46 at 5 o'clock. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. We'll pick it up on the west side. We've got a crash right now on Beaverton-Hillsdale Highway. It's westbound near 217. One lane is blocked there, so watch out for the emergency response there. Back to the freeways. In Wilsonville we go. There's your northbound I-5 commute. Looks like that's getting busier, but so far rolling right along. The freeways are in good shape this morning, guys. To Rod's point about the plowed roads getting up into the higher terrain, chains and traction tires are required as you get up over the Cascade Passes. Drew and China, as Rod mentioned, it's going to be a snowy wonderland up there all weekend long. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Chris. A man convicted of burning down an apartment building is expected to be sentenced this morning.
Yeah, this happened 2 years ago at the May Apartments, right on the edge of downtown Portland, destroying the building and displacing residents. Thomas Schultz joins us now, right where that apartment building once stood. So, Thomas, what's the latest in this case?
Yeah, well, guys, dating back to October when Garrett Repp was convicted, he was convicted on 55 counts, including arson and reckless endangerment. Now, Garrett Repp was a tenant here at these May Apartments when he started a fire in his unit. He had been evicted, and Multnomah County deputies were scheduled to remove him from the apartment complex just an hour and a half after he started that fire. Once the fire sparked, smoke poured across the Portland skyline as the 113-year-old building began to burn. Some residents of the five-story building had to use ladders to evacuate. A firefighter was even injured as well. After the fire, residents told us Repp was a long-time problem, saying he terrorized residents by constantly pulling the fire alarm. While eviction proceedings were ongoing, Repp was arrested 4 times for criminal trespass, mischief, and disorderly conduct.
He's very troubled. I'm not a psychologist, but I would use the term sociopath. He's really big time trouble.
And you can see here that building has long since been demolished after Repp set it on fire. Now, as for Garrett Repp, he is scheduled to be in court today for his sentencing beginning at 9 o'clock this morning. Guys.
All right, Thomas Schultz reporting live for us this morning right there on the edge of downtown Portland. Meanwhile, police in Gresham are looking for this man we have there on your screen. He's actually a teenager, a 16-year-old who they believe is responsible and part of a shooting that killed a 17-year-old just a few weeks ago. 17-year-old Jorge Vasquez was shot and killed at Vance Park on January 23rd. Detectives have identified the suspect as 16-year-old Camarino Videz. Anyone who spots him should call 911, and authorities also say that he may be armed. Now, Vasquez's homicide was one of 2 in January connected to gun violence in Gresham. Just last month, police launched Ceasefire Gresham in response to challenges they're facing with gun violence.
Getting out in front of retaliation is super important because if somebody gets shot, maybe somebody will retaliate on their behalf. So it's ultra important that we connect with individuals who are around shootings, not just those who are victims of shootings.
Ceasefire Gresham aims to address the root cause of violence by doing things like connecting families with resources and services that they may need.
One person is dead after a crash in North Portland. Authorities say this was on MLK close to Delta Park just before 7. Police say a vehicle ran off the road south of Marine Drive and the driver died at the scene. It appears that there was only one car involved here. No word yet on a cause.
Oregon Governor Tina Kotek fired the director of the Oregon Youth Authority after lawyers for 10 formerly incarcerated young people filed lawsuits against the agency. That lawsuit accuses Dr. Edward Gary Edwards of groping teenage boys during what should have been routine medical exams at the McLaren Youth Correctional Facility in Woodburn. The lawsuit also accuses at least 5 other staff members of sexual abuse. Lawyers say nearly 200 other former youth detainees have reached out to their office, many of them alleging similar abuse. Dr. Edward Edwards passed just a few weeks ago and has never been charged with the crime here in Oregon. We also want to remind you of this traffic alert out in the Gorge this weekend. The historic Columbia River Highway is closed from Larch Mountain Road up to Vista House because of what's being described as road settling. ODOT actually says this is going to be a long-term closure. So if you're heading up to Crown Point from the Portland area, you're going to have to go past it on I-84, take the Bridal Veil exit, and then head back towards it from the east.
It's St. Patrick's Day weekend, and PBOT says it's working to keep you safe. Discounted taxi, Lyft, and Uber rides are available through the agency's Safe Ride Home program. Coupons are available and valid within Portland city limits from 6 p.m. to 2:30 a.m. tonight through Monday. $20 taxi coupons are also available at the Kells Portland Irish Festival on the waterfront. To download the Uber and Lyft coupon, go to portland.gov. And let's bring in Chris McGinnis because the annual Shamrock Run also happening this weekend. So, Chris, any impacts that we need to know about?
Yeah, well, first off, we've got 15,000 runners and walkers converging on downtown Portland, right? So taking in one of the 5 events from the half marathon to the Leprechaun Lap for the little ones. Here's what you need to know to avoid getting stuck on the roads. All races start and finish in downtown on Southwest NATO Parkway between the Burnside and Hawthorne bridges. Road closures start as early as 5 p.m. Saturday. The 5K is up first with a 7:45 a.m. Sunday start time. You can see the other start times here. There are several partial or full road closures, the most impactful being NATO Parkway in downtown and southbound Barbara Boulevard from Sheridan to Park Hill. All downtown bridges and all streets west of Southwest 1st Avenue will remain open. There are a few transit impacts. TriMet expects potential delays on the Max Orange and Yellow lines, and 6 bus routes listed here will be detoured. As always, check trimet.org for the most current status. For everyone running, congratulations for your contributions to Dornbecker Children's Hospital, and thanks to the many volunteers and event staff who will be braving what looks like a cool and rainy day to christen the running season. Rod, how about that rain?
You're making me out to be the bad guy, aren't you?
Yes!
I see how this is going. Here's a look at Futurecast. We'll start at 8 o'clock Sunday morning. There's a front coming in Sunday. Temperatures will be in the 40s. It stands to reason there will be at least a noticeable breeze, at least somewhere in that 10, 20 mile per hour range at times Sunday. But this potentially is all steady rain to begin. And Portland's kind of right on the northern edge of this line. So if this track is correct, we wouldn't really see the rain start to move out until 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I will share with you there are other models that take this rain a little bit farther south and give a glimmer of hope that maybe Portland is kind of in the broken rain area and it's not steady, but yet to be determined. Keep your eyes on the forecast. Right now, the odds are best to just assume the odds of you raining in the run are quite good. I said that backwards. Running in the rain are quite good. All right, here's what's going on right now. Flurry activity to very light snow being picked up in the Coast Range and potentially even down into the flats of the valley in parts of Polk County and Lynn County. There's McMinnville, Yamhill County as well. Portland is completely dry. We are at 39 degrees. Don't expect much of any precipitation here in the Rose City through 9 a.m. this morning. So pretty easy peasy morning commute in terms of weather. We are chilly. We're in the 30s, but above freezing, 36 in Westland. Salem and Dallas, could be some flurries in your area. Dallas right now, you're at 36 degrees. Rosie, this is kind of fun. From Grant High School, home of the Generals. Our KGW dog of the day today. Use that hashtag post on your social media channels. We'll find your photo, and your dog will be our dog of the day. We celebrate Grant High School this morning. All right, not much moisture out east today, but lots of clouds, and then the rain picking up with temperatures in the 40s here on the west side. Basically, once the rain picks up today, it's several waves of steady rain all the way through the day Sunday, it looks like, for your weekend forecast. Back to you.